So what you can do is have, your watch parties.
Yeah, bring your drinks, look at us, have some snacks, and enjoy this time with your party, the right choice, the People's National Movement.
So now, we take you into all of the action. We welcome you once again to the People's National Movement's official launch of candidates for General Elections 2020.
And remember, the People's National Movement is the right choice.
Vote for the love of we country. We go vote to protect the treasury. Vote is on
Trinidad and Tobago. This is it. We are on the road to victory. 41 constituencies, 41 candidates. The only national party with a proven track record. The only national party that is interested in Trinidad and Tobago. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have the right leader. We have the right candidates. We have the right vision. We have the right plan. We have the right track record. We stand on the side of righteousness, ladies and gentlemen. And Trinidad and Tobago, the People's National Movement, is the right choice. Trinidad and Tobago, on August the 10th, we want you to go out in your hundreds and in your thousands and vote resoundingly for your People's National Movement candidates in every single constituency across this country. Today, you will meet 41 outstanding men and women, nationals of Trinidad and Tobago, who have put themselves forward to be of service to you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago. People of integrity, people with track records of success. Ladies and gentlemen, your neighbors, your friends, your 41 PNM candidates. And without any further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you the outgoing Member of Parliament for the constituency of San Fernando East. He has held the portfolio of Minister of Tourism. Ladies and gentlemen, to introduce to you the first 10 candidates of today. Please welcome Mr. Randall Mitchell.
Are you ready to continue with strong, responsible, and sober leadership? Are you ready to re-elect a leader resolute and unafraid to make decisions for the protection of the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago? Are you ready to re-elect Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley as the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago? Are you ready to make the right choice on August the 10th and put your ex by the balisé? Well then, ladies and gentlemen, I have the privilege to introduce to you these 10 standard bearers of the People's National Movement. And to help me do that here today, let me introduce to you Black. Chemistry. There is no folly with Dolly. She is a fair estimator and advocate for the people of St. Nancy's. Responsible for the most successful Carifesta ever. Minister of Community Development, Culture and the Arts. On August 10th, your candidate for St. Nancy's, the right choice, Dr. the Honorable Nyan Gatsby Dolly. Get up and shake your bambalam. Get up and shake your bambalam. Bring it back here like boomerang. Free up yourself like Yangadang. Get up and shake your bambalam. Bring it. If you're feeling like a bite of shilling, only vibes I bring it. I wanna rock and sway like Cambodia, so I come in. With my hand I'm swinging, only vibes I bring in. Jean and Dinah come off the corner, boy. This is a fair to remember. Ladies and gentlemen, for Shogun and East, the next candidate, you know him, you love him. He is also an attorney at law, and the best thing to happen to agriculture for the last 5 years. It is a time to win. It gives me great pleasure to introduce our prospective candidate for the constituency East. And the next member of parliament, Mr. Clarence Rambarat. Next up, the right choice in the constituency of Lopino Bonnet West. He is young, he is vibrant, a former police officer and now a distinguished attorney at law. He is a father and possesses a deep passion for public service. On August 10th, the only choice, the right choice for Lopino Bonnet West is Mr. Marvin Gonzalez. We're doing it with Marvin.
Get in the groove, to the rhythm and blues, to the rhythm and blues, yeah.
Our next prospective candidate for the constituency of Cuba North is capable, competent, and committed. She is a fierce advocate for building communities. She is a sportswoman and an entrepreneur and lives in California. A former member of the PNM's Youth League. The right choice on August 10th, Ms. Sharda Satram, your next member of parliament for the constituency of Cuba North. Our next candidate asks you to be read and ready with Rampasad. The PNM's prospective candidate for the constituency of Cuba South is a mechanical engineer and an entrepreneur. He is a family man with deep social ties to his community. In Cuba South, on August the 10th, the right choice is Mr. Rajendra Rampasad, PNM prospective candidate for Cuba South. In Caroni Central, you have Mr. Rayad Ali, a dedicated and brilliant son of the PNM. The future of Trinidad and Tobago is in the safe hands of the PNM, and Caroni Central is in the safe hands of Rayad Ali. On August 10th, we read with Rayad, your next PNM candidate for Caroni Central, Mr. Rayad Ali. For Chaguanas West, Ms. Raquel Bisoon is passionate about her community and her constituency of Chaguanas West. A young and vibrant woman who intends to bring visible representation to the constituency. The PNM standard bearer in the constituency of Chaguanas West. The right choice on August the 10th is Ms. Raquel Bisoon. Be ready with Rack. The PNM's prospective candidate for the constituency of Port of Spain South is a man who needs very little introduction. He is a strong and distinguished, qualified attorney at law. He is a voice for the voiceless in the highest courts of law in and outside of Trinidad and Tobago. He will now be a voice for the people of Port of Spain South in our nation's parliament. The only choice for the constituent of Port of Spain South and next member of parliament is Mr. Keith Scotland. In Orapuch East, he loves the people and the people love him. A brilliant man with a passion for national service. The PNM standard bearer in the constituency of Orapuch East, with his eyes set only on victory. Prospective candidate for Orapuch East is Mr. Clifford Rambarose. On August 10th, reject all others. Rambarose for real representation. On September 7, 2015, you decided you were on board with Ford as your representative in the beautiful constituency of Tunapuna. A past student of Hillview College, he is a former councillor and immediate former deputy speaker of the House of Representatives. He has an unmatched dedication for public service. Your prospective candidate for the constituency of Tunapuna, the energetic Mr. Esmond Ford. In 2020, we on board with Ford. Ladies and gentlemen, I take great pleasure in introducing our candidate speaker, Mr. Heath Scotland, the next member of parliament for Port of Spain South. We are onward to victory on August 10th. Make the right choice. Make the only choice. Choose the People's National Movement.
Love you. Thank you.
The right choice, PNM. I want to look at that in 3 dimensions. I want to look at the right choice of the PNM of the past, present, and the future. When I speak about PNM as the right choice in the past, what I speak about is since 1956, when you look at the policies of the PNM, it was always the right choice. It was not always perfect, but it was always the right choice. Its policies of education and opportunities for all has enabled me to stand here before you this evening and address you as the prospective candidate and member of parliament for Port of Spain South. Because of these policies and because of the stern and unrelenting eyes of my elders, I was able, through education and other opportunities presented, to be able to come here and stand before you, vying for the vote of Port of Spain South. When you link that with the fact that in our national anthem, the first representative for Port of Spain South, the late Dr. Eric Eustace Williams, adhered at all times to that phrase in our national anthem, every creed and race found an equal place under the PNM. And that, I say, is the past. Policies initiated and stuck to by the PNM that has brought us now to the present. So let me speak briefly about the present. I was coming back from a case in St. Vincent in January 2020. And when I was passing through the immigration lobby, a gentleman had a machine and he was pointing it at me. So I told him, Junior, what nonsense is this? These people, they only prying in your business. She said, no, Mr. Scotland, don't be like that. They are testing your temperature. And that was in January of this year. It means then that since January, this government, and can I say we now, honorable political leader, we have been anticipating what was going to happen in Trinidad and Tobago and in the global atmosphere. Because those machines that they had testing at the airport, they couldn't come in overnight, you know. That took some sort of planning. So the first thing I want to say about the planning is that for the present, you know that you had a government who plans, and that is the right choice. But planning alone doesn't produce results, you know. You have to have execution. And I would say, without any doubt or any fear of reproach, that the execution done by the PNM during the present is second to none. The policies implemented, stay at home, hygiene, national awareness every single day, social and fiscal policies. I will just touch briefly on a few. The disability grants, the rent relief and the income relief. That shows just not planning, but it shows execution. And the planning didn't stop there. I was speaking to the honorable member and our Minister of Finance. He didn't get back to me, but I did my research. On the 22nd of May 2020, Moody's kept the grading and the rating of Trinidad and Tobago at BA1. It is one of the highest in the region. And this was at a time when Moody's was downgrading several countries all over the world, particularly those who were dependent on natural oil and natural gas and oil. It means then that not only did they plan, not only did we execute, but we had policies that enable this country to weather a storm that is still brewing. So now we come to the most important part, because what you can tell me is that three-dimension, the past is the past, the present is gone, what about the future? Well, make no mistake, people, ahead of us for this country, we are facing stormy waters. And what do you need when you're facing stormy waters? You need a captain and a crew that could withstand stormy waters. You would need solid leadership, wise leadership, and mind you, leadership that is not afraid to take tough and sometimes unpopular decisions. And I say that leadership was found in Dr. Keith C. Rowley and his team, for which I now vie to be a part of. So then you will ask me, my constituents, well, what about us? What message you have for us? Well, I have listened to the conversation over the past 10 days, and there's a narrative that the PNM has lost its moorings, that we have forgotten and neglected the people in that area. So before we engage in the narrative, we say, if that is true and it is genuine, it must be addressed. It can't be business as usual. And when you look at the committee appointed by the Honorable Prime Minister, I didn't look at the other names. Once I saw Anthony Watkins as the chairman, I was satisfied that not only was it well thought out, but a lot of thought went into it. And then I say, let's look at that narrative for a moment. When you look at the policies of rent relief, hampers, when you look at the implementation of income relief, aren't those policies geared towards the most vulnerable? So in the conversation, we're not discarding it for one moment, but we're saying don't let the narrative take you over and say there's been complete neglect. So we now come to my constituency and I say, Port of Spain South, I don't buy into the narrative, you know. When I look at you, I see persons who want the best for themselves and to make better lives for their families. And I see hope. So when we come to the 10th of August, 2020, we say to you, this will make no difference unless you come out in Aruka, Maloney, unless you come out in Chaguanas East, Lopino, Bonnier, Hoover North and South, Caroni Central, Chaguanas West, Port of Spain East, Oropouche East, and Tunapuna. And when you come out, because remember, the waters are choppy and stormy. And to steal a phrase from the next Member of Parliament from Maruga, Tableland, Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters, we will say, Captain, the ship is sailing. And not just sailing, because when the storm comes, under the leadership of our honorable political leader and Prime Minister, we will sail home, riding upon the storm. Sailing home, sailing home, sailing home. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen.
The youngest assemblyman in the Tobago House of Assembly. He serves for the district of Puku Mount Pleasant. Please welcome Trinidad and Tobago's youngest ever Chief Secretary, the Honorable Anson S. Dennis.
PNM people, how you feeling? If you're ready, make some noise. If you're ready to elect the right choices, make some noise. PNM people, citizens of Trinidad and Tobago, it is my distinct pleasure to announce and introduce to you the second batch of candidates here this afternoon. And of course, these candidates will be led by our Honorable Prime Minister and political leader, Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, the right man to lead the country at this time, the right man with the right plans, leading the right government to lead Trinidad and Tobago. And to help me do this afternoon, I want to introduce none other than Ola Tunji.
The entire crowd here has on their mask and is ensuring that we adhere to the protocols, because that's very, very important for us.
Because in another time and place, we would easily have like 10,000 persons gathered here at our candidate. So stay tuned for an exciting, exceptional show here today with the PNM family.
Yeah.
We take it stateside.
A man of class, a man of integrity, one of the best ministers of national security this country has ever seen. Put your hands together and welcome the next Member of Parliament for Port of Cross Plain North, St. Anne's West, Honorable Stuart Young.
The Lord is great. I want you to appreciate. Now everybody give praise.
Following him, we have a man following in his father's footsteps. And just as his father used to say back then, Brian Manning, the candidate for San Fernando East, he will beat them in the East, he will beat them in the West, he will beat them in the North, and he will beat them in the South. And he will become the next member of Parliament for San Fernando East. And representing the constituency of Komuto Manzanilla, we have a young, strong, and vibrant candidate, an astute businessman who served his community in many capacities. Put your hands together and make some noise and welcome young Mr. Ronnie Lochan, the PNM's candidate and the next member of Parliament for Komuto Manzanilla.
Oh, yeah,
And following him, we have the PNM's candidate for Tabakid, a former police inspector, the former president of the Police Social and Welfare Association, a man of integrity, a man who has served us well in the past as a police officer, and he's ready to work for you again as the Member of Parliament for Tabakid. Make some noise and welcome Mr. Michael Seal. Next up we have, coming all the way from Mayaro, the next Member of Parliament for the constituency of Mayaro, a man again who seeks to follow in his father's footsteps as a servant of the people. Welcome Mr. Sanka Bonnie Mahabir Singh.
Anything that you come with, tell them no love to come. I want to see you with no behavior. No business to say. And we tell you in front of the mirror. Practice that thing there for me. Got your body looking good, and you would be in a mood.
Next up, I want to introduce a Tobago woman, a Tobago East woman, a woman of class, a woman who served Trinidad and Tobago well as a Minister of State in the office of the Prime Minister, and a woman who we will once again elect as Member of Parliament for Tobago East, who will beat Watson Duke once again and represent Tobago East as the next Member of Parliament. Make some noise and welcome Honorable Ayana Webster Roy.
Smile brighter than daylight. Girl, I want you as a soul. I follow you like a daylight. Standing there with your yellow, more dangerous than a.
And as Chief Secretary of Tobago, I want to inform the Prime Minister that we have 2 seats in the back, so find at least 22 more. And therefore, as I introduce the next candidate for the constituency of Tobago West, Honorable Shamfa Kojo, a woman who served that constituency well, a woman who served this country well, a young woman, a powerful woman, an honorable woman, a beautiful woman. Make some noise for Shamfa Kojo.
There's standing nothing to say cause your lips them look so good like plenty cherry. Lift on your drop it for me. Oh la la mama fit to pity. So you on the road yesterday. The rhythm your waist up like two lelele. Cause I must get that taste on the waist mama before I die. Just give me where you never give nobody no be shy.
Next up we have another young daughter of Trinidad and Tobago, ready and willing to serve the People's National Movement, ready and willing to serve Trinidad and Tobago as the next Member of Parliament for St. Augustine. a former educator, an attorney at law, make some noise and rally for Renuka Sagram Singh Suklal. Next we have a man who is no stranger to politics, no stranger to public life, a man who has served Trinidad and Tobago in the parliament in the past, a cultural man, an extempo man. Put your hands together and make some noise and welcome Mr. Winston Gypsy Peters, who will re-enter the parliament once again under the PNM banner as the representative from Aruga Tableland. And last but not least, we have the right choice for Lavantil West, a man of experience, a man who has represented this party in various capacities, a long-standing track record as a public servant, an attorney at law, the current member of parliament for Lavantil West. Put your hands together, make some noise, PNM people, as we welcome once again the man who will continue to represent the constituency of Lavantil West after August the 10th, Honorable Fitzgerald Hine.
Static. I love how you move your body. Come show the looking for me. There's something nothing to say cause you lift them look so good like them teacher. You lift and you drop it for me. Oh la la mama fit to me. So you on the road yesterday. The rhythm your waist up like two lele. Cause
So I want to ask all 10 candidates to come forward.
Just give me when you never give
Our 10 victorious candidates.
I know all of them who watching they go talk. When they talk me tell them I don't know about you. But when I don't
Come on, make some noise.
Introducing my friend.
And coming to address you on behalf of this second batch of candidates is none other than the candidate for Tobago East, Honorable Ayana Webster Roy.
Leadership, we promise you forever. For PNM and everything will be much better, yeah. Strengthen honor in 5 years of government. Never
Party chairman, political leader, general secretary, lady vice chairman, the beautiful people of Trinidad and Tobago. Red Army, good afternoon. It is a pleasure to address you on behalf of a group of heavy rollers, on behalf of a group of young, honest, competent politicians willing to serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago. We are the right choice because we come to you as part of an institution that nurtured Trinidad and Tobago. We are the right choice because we come to you as part of the People's National Movement, the same People's National Movement of Dr. Eric Williams, the same People's National Movement of George Chambers, the same People's National Movement of Patrick Manning, and the same People's National Movement of Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. I am proud to be a part of this team because this team did more for women and children than any other administration. We are the right choice because we did more with less. Under the PNM team, led by Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, over 10,000 child right booklets were distributed to our nation's children. Under the team, led by Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, the Children's Authority was established throughout Trinidad and Tobago. Under the team led by Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, we amended legislation of the Domestic Violence Act, protecting our nation's vulnerable women. Under the team led by Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, we established the first state-run domestic violence shelter in Trinidad and Tobago. That makes us the right choice. We are the right choice because we are a principled party. We stand for integrity. We stand for service to people. We stand for service, delivery, and performance. We will always be the right choice for most vulnerable in Trinidad and Tobago. Tobagonians, I want you to understand that in Tobago, East and West, you have two powerful candidates willing to continue to serve you in the parliament. You have two candidates who would have worked alongside a team of competent ministers in the cabinet to deliver to you, the people of Tobago, East and West, numerous physical infrastructure development programs. We gave to the people of Tobago East a brand new police station, and to the people of Tobago West, a brand new police station in Sherburne. We gave to the people of Tobago West an improved sewer system. We gave to the people of Tobago West a building of an indoor facility, and soon we will give to the people of Tobago East and West the first ever indoor multi-purpose facility in Bacolet. That is performance. That makes us the right choice. We gave to the people of Tobago East a brand new hospital, the first of its kind in Tobago East. We gave to the people of Tobago East the Mariah Health Center, and we will continue to give to the people of Tobago East and West, just as Trinidad has developed under the loving, stable hands of the People's National Movement. All of Trinidad and Tobago will continue to grow. Stand with us, work with us. On August 10th, make the right choice. Put your X by the Balizé and vote the People's National Movement. I thank you.
Wow, look at the energy of those candidates on that stage. 10 energy.
Proud to be a member of the People's National Movement.
Only the PNM can do it like
only
this,
the PNM can do
only
it.
party that has that energy.
You know, and we also had Tobago in the house.
In full force. Woman power from Tobago.
You know, now I want to ask you a question. What would you say to someone voting for the first time in this general election? Why is PNM the right choice?
PNM is the right choice. Just look at our track record. Every measurable development in this country has come from the People's National Movement. And anyone who does their research, look at the parties, evaluate them, look at what they have done, look at the legislation they have passed, and you will be convinced that the PNM is the right choice.
Wow. Well, I mean, the proof is in the pudding. You just heard it live and alive.
Yeah,
the People's National Movement. The right choice.
Let's go stateside.
Political leader, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. To help us introduce this group of winning candidates, we invite Nishad M. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to introduce the right choice for the constituency of St. Joseph, Mr. Taran Singh. Cast your votes for the People's National Movement and stay safe with Taran. The only choice for the constituency of Lego Martin Northeast, Mr. Colm Imbert, a man with the strength to carry Trinidad and Tobago to prosperity and hope. On August 10th, keep calm and vote calm. The lovely constituency of Laventil East Mova. It is with great enthusiasm that we have candidates of the highest caliber, Mr. Adrian Leons, to represent you. On August 10th, make the right choice and vote Adrian Leons. The People's National Movement is proud to present Mr. Roger Monroe for the constituency of Togo Sandy Grande. On August 10th, we will be proud with Monroe on the go. capable to bring Princestown home for the People's National Movement, Ms. Sharon Bagulal. We will be getting it done with Sharon. The man with the strength and the ability to carry out this task for the constituency with infinite potential. We proudly present to you Mr. Daniel Dookie.
Wave your flags up, come on. Hands up in the air. Put up your hand up in the air. Put up your hand up in the air.
Sabadi O'Mara, we present a woman grounded in the constituency, a woman on a mission, Miss Lisa Morris-Julian. She is the embodiment of compassion, dedication, and community. So on August 10th, cast your votes for the People's National Movement's candidate, Lisa Morris-Julian. The candidate for Barataria Sawa is humility defined. He is a man of the soil who, with no doubt, has a strong pulse within the constituency, demonstrating love in the house. We welcome Jason Williams, the right choice for Barataria Sawa. There's only one choice, the right choice for the constituency of Caroni East, Ms. Sharon Archie. Stamp your X by the Balize for the People's National Movement's choice, Ms. Sharon Archie on August 10th. This next candidate needs no introduction. It is without fear of contradiction that we can say that he has listened to the needs of his people and has consistently placed national interests at the fore. On August 10th, vote for Faris Alwari for hope, vision, and prosperity.
Make some noise. Come in, come in. I know you all know this line. Sing it out loud.
The People's National Movement is committed to serving Trinidad and Tobago. That commitment is reflected in the high caliber of candidates that has been handpicked to serve the beautiful constituencies throughout the length and breadth of Trinidad and Tobago. With that said, we proudly introduce the group speaker, Jason Williams. He personifies relentless love and passion of service. His time as a senator has further driven his need to serve with upliftment and direction for the constituency of Barataria Sawa. PNM people, the candidate for Barataria Sawa.
Come on, clap your hands. Everybody. Yes. Everybody needs to, before you go do this one dance, put your right hand in the air and your left hand on your waist. And so, wine and turn up, and turn up, and turn up. All you make some noise, say yeah, yeah.
Yes. Thank you, Nishadem, a good friend. Greetings, Trinidad and Tobago. Honorable Prime Minister Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, National Executive, PNM family, constituents, of Barataria San Juan, fellow candidates, of course, this amazing and winning team, especially those like me on the journey for the first time, brothers and sisters, good evening. We are the PNM. Yes, we are an institution, a staple, part of the national fabric. And we are the right choice at the right time. Now, it's a true joy to share the stage with this winning team. And truth be told, when you offer yourself to serve country, it's an honor. Of course, it is hard work, and for some of us, the political rookies, we are getting a chance to experience that firsthand. But it is indeed an honor. The journey, for me, this journey is a journey of service to country and community. Now, service has always been part of my public profile, and all who know me well are not surprised by my decision. Being part of this winning team gives us all a chance to impact country via the political machinery. We will be the spark to ignite all those who need that extra push. We are the right choice to keep the citizens safe in these unprecedented times. Keeping our nation safe and informed, to me, is paramount. Information is knowledge, and knowledge is indeed power. Now, we sincerely believe, and when we say we, I talk about the Red Army, the PNM family. We are the change, and we believe in being the change we want to see. We intend to deliver visible, vibrant, and accessible representation. This is the Red Army, and if you Google performance, you're going to find PNM. Give me a round of applause, please. That's what we're talking about. Now, I want to take a minute to talk to the young people of Trinidad and Tobago. Now, when I move on the ground during the campaign, I have a chance to touch base with lots of young people. They are indeed the future of the nation, and I engage them, and most importantly, I listen. Some of them, and I'm being honest here, we're having a heart-to-heart. Some of them don't feel connected at times to the process. And I engage them and let them know that the People's National Movement, the government, already has a number of meaningful programs in place that target youth development. Our task going forward is to ensure accessibility to these programs as we continue to listen, network, and identify the needs of the young people of Trinidad and Tobago, because indeed they are the future. Now, this is not a new experience for me, because being on radio for so many years, I would listen to the concerns and amplify the concerns of the nation via the microphone. Of course, that is a unique situation. But what is even more unique is this particular moment and journey, where you can not only listen to the issues, but intervene in a meaningful way and provide solutions, and solutions suggested by the young people themselves. And that has been, to me, one of the greatest parts of this journey thus far, that one-on-one real engagement. Now, in closing, I want to say more life, more health, more love to everyone, all supporters of this amazing party, this Red Army, this institution, this fabric that's been around since Rock of Ages. This is the pillar that Trinidad and Tobago was built upon, and at the end of the day, it's a mixture going into this election come August 10th of experience and youth. They say they wanted young blood, all you get young blood. Yes? Yes? So, with that said, let's go forward and make this a reality come August 10th. We are the right choice at the right time. Great is the PNM, and at the end of the day, this is the right choice. As we said, at the right time. Thank you so much. Victory come August 10th.
Yes, so we just heard from JW, Jason Williams, and that was the third group of candidates being presented here today.
And what impressed me, we just had a lovely chutney presentation with Singer Nishad. Where else but the PNM are you going to get that wealth of diversity as we have seen here? Wonderful, wonderful presentation.
That is what we mean by being a truly national party.
That is why we are the right choice. Let's go stateside. We have some more candidates coming up for us.
Stand before you as the next member of Parliament for the constituency of St. Augustine, but to also present to you the final group of men and women who are committed, ready, and dedicated to serve you, the people of Trinidad and Tobago, a group of men and women who are the right choice of leaders for our beautiful Twin Island. To help me bring on the future members of Parliament, I welcome on stage none other than Benjai. La Hokata Talparo. La Hokata Talparo. Your choice, the right choice. A man who believes in building strong communities for you, the people of La Hokata Talparo. I present to you the right choice, none other than Foster Cummings. Aruka Maloney, I present to you the true essence of woman, a trailblazer
Soca does give them the powers. Make we compete with each other. We party in sun or rain, we don't care what the people say.
PNM people, the voice of this final cohort of men and women who will lead us to victory on August 10th, I present to you the next Member of Parliament for La Hokata Talparo, also the General Secretary of the People's National Movement. It is my distinct pleasure to welcome, to present to each and every one of you, the Honorable Mr. Foster Cummings.
PNM is the voice, PNM all the way on election day is the right choice at the right time. Hands in the air for the parties, hey. Introducing my friend.
Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Political leader and Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley, and soon to be re-elected as the next Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago with your support. Trinidad and Tobago, we are approaching the time of decision when we as citizens will be called upon to make a very serious decision. We'll be called upon to make the right choice. It is a decision about who we will trust to govern the affairs of our country for the next 5 years. It is a decision between good and bad, between corruption and wastage, and against prudent management of the PNM. We'll be called upon to decide if we'll be led by a statesman in the person of Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley, who has navigated and kept us afloat during very difficult times, and another leader who had the benefit of 5 of the largest budgets in this country during 2010 to 2015, and yet to date cannot demonstrate to us as a country what this money was spent on. Decision day is coming soon. Whether you import a Spain South, Diego Martin West, San Fernando East, Arima, Cuba South, Tobago East, or in La Hokata Talparo, your decision is not just about electing your member of parliament. Your decision is about securing the future of Trinidad and Tobago. Your decision is about securing the future for your children and your grandchildren. If you had any doubt about who should govern Trinidad and Tobago, just look at what took place over the last few months and the level of leadership displayed by Dr. Rowley and his team. Ladies and gentlemen, during this pandemic, take note of the way this government has handled the affairs of your country as compared to other people who told us, well, you know, it's the sun that controls the virus. Who said open the shops prematurely and sell more rum. Who said open the borders and expose all of us. My dear Trinidad and Tobago friends and family, such is the incompetence and lack of responsibility displayed by the UNC. We must do all in our power to relegate them to the corridors of opposition politics forever. Our team consists of a group of well-rounded individuals led by a political leader who is experienced and well-respected throughout the region. Take no chance with your future. Take no chance with the future of your children. Vote solidly for the People's National Movement on August the 10th. As I walked the streets of La Hokata, I came upon a party supporter who said to me, read Psalm 37. And I took the time to go into my phone today to pay attention to this psalm. and it reminded me about the ill conduct of the UNC. And let me share it with you. Fret not thyself because of evildoers, neither be envious against the workers of iniquity, for they shall soon be cut down like grass and wither as the green herb. On August the 10th, vote the People's National Movement as your next government of Trinidad and Tobago. Support Dr. Keith Christopher Rowley. Great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we shall prevail.
And wow, we just had a wonderful, energetic speech from Senator Foster Cummings there.
Yeah, so party's General Secretary. I think the People's National Movement, not I think, you know, we are the only political party that has fielded a candidate in every election in the history of Trinidad.
The only national party. Only national party.
Truly national
Win
party.
or lose in areas that we know are not traditionally PNM.
Correct.
We field a candidate. We give you a choice so that you can choose to vote for your PNM candidate and support your party.
Because I know, we know,
yeah,
and you know, that the People's National Movement is the right choice in this election.
It is the right choice. So let's take you stage stride to see one of our strong PNM songs.
Entertainment
all PNM
for
supporters.
soul.
You
Our
know
very
you
own
enjoy this one.
Dilamo.
Let's go stage side.
We love TNT, we go follow Rowley. Keep Rowley, go lead with the victory. PNM warriors, with your bodies in hand. We taking back we country, we taking back we land. Tell them we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. Everybody get on board with Franklin Farris and Ashton Ford. Colin Martin, Imbert and Donna Cox, Joe Newt, Benny and Hines with the dreadlocks. We coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. PNM, PNM. PNM, PNM. Too much thief and corruption and too much bubble. She feels she could run this country only on alcohol. Flag here, flag she tail, they flying in helicopter while they empty the treasury and we poor people suffer. Tell them we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. Warn them, go on the anointed God. We coming to bust it throat. He go have one big regret, class 34, we will forget. No. We coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. As we said, PNM, the right choice. PNM, the only choice. The only choice. There are no two ways about it. In 2010, they run we with victory. But PNM and dead, they just get we more angry. With a new constitution, we energize the body. No stopping, we coming like the energizer body. Tell them we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. Oh God, we come back to hang to Jack and Anil the Joker in the party come back. Game go be sing, play the fool. He can't even fix me school. He ain't make the team. He go mad, they don't. Oh, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming, we coming. Stop. Check your bodies in. Check your bodies in. This is the nice thing I like. Unity. Together we aspire, together we will achieve. This is the legacy that Eric Williams leave. So for the children and their children, we cannot fail. Great is the PNM, and we shall prevail. We coming, we coming, we coming. This is PNM generation next. We go beat them with the X. In Tobago, they have no chance. Before London, BP go to France. You, we coming, we coming.
He served as an opposition senator in 1987, and in 1991, the great people of Diego Martin West elected him to serve as their parliamentary representative, and he has faithfully served them for the past 29 years. For 10 years, he has led the People's National Movement. Since 2015, he has led us, the enormous and wonderful people of Trinidad and Tobago. His solid, scientific, sober, and sensible leadership has seen him steer our country through some very rough waters. Trinidad and Tobago, I present to you the PNM's candidate for Diego Martin West, the right choice, the only choice, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley. Ladies and gentlemen, join me in welcoming to the podium a politician extraordinaire, a strategist without compare, our political leader, our Prime Minister, a husband, a father, and the incumbent Member of Parliament for Diego Martin West, the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago for a second term come August 10th, Dr. the Honorable Keith Christopher Rowley.
Party chairman, deputy political leaders, general secretary, who is now our candidate for La Hoqueta Talparo. I understand that there's a giant up there called Goliath. We have produced a David, and on the night of August 10th, the hills will fall into the valleys. Other party officers, my fellow candidates, members of the PNM, supporters of the PNM, people of Trinidad and Tobago, the hour of decision is at hand. We of the PNM have brought you here, fellow candidates. For me, your leader, it is indeed a great pleasure to take you into this battle, one that I would relish and one that I know would change the course of Trinidad and Tobago. It is said that we are the right choice. It is said that you have been screened. Let me confirm that. Our party is in our 65th year. As empires go, that's a short time. But as nations go in this world, post-World War II, we are maturing. 65 years, a political party in Trinidad and Tobago is something for the nation to celebrate, because they are born every Friday and die every Monday, and very few of them survive from one election to another. Trinidad and Tobago and the PNM, we are inextricably bound, and we are on the same road, one road, the road to that destiny, boundless faith that we have, and if this country burns down, we will be in the ashes. But we make sure that hot as it gets, we will take care of the furnace. You have been screened not by a pickup side made up of friends and associates, liming partners of the political leader. You have seen our constitution amended to ensure that the political leader has a vote, and so does every other member on the screening committee. No longer assisting the political leader who carries a veto on candidates, but every member of our screening committee, persons holding those offices by virtue of the elections in the party under one man, one vote, where our party members vote you into office. And based on the office you hold, you automatically have a position on the screening committee. That is the committee that has screened all of you. That is the committee that has selected you to be the standard bearer of this venerable People's National Movement. That is what the PNM holds out to Trinidad and Tobago. I can tell you without fear of contradiction that none of you, not one of you of the 40 of you, could stand before you, before your God, and say that you have made a deal with anybody in the party leadership, the political leader in particular. You have bargained for nothing except an opportunity to serve the people of Trinidad and Tobago. I've promised you nothing but hard work, because hard work is for young people, and people like me is to make young people work. And I know you're ready for work. There are those in this country whose idea of running a political party is to promise the sun, the moon, and the stars. As they sit there in a position now destined to return in lesser numbers, they know who is promised the governor of the central bank, who is promised chairman of this board, who is promised this, who is promised that, and all of them have promised themselves the treasury. Ladies and gentlemen, in the PNM, you have come to serve, and it is that service that causes you to be so enthusiastic, so excited to come and join a long history of service which our party can stand without reproach and say, we built this nation, we built Trinidad and Tobago, we changed every family in this country. As you step out on August 10th, I want to say to all of you, wherever you are, one of the proudest pieces of our legacy is not that we have won seats across this country and won every seat everywhere in this country, but that in every single election, general election, local election, THA election, by-election, everywhere and anywhere in the nation of Trinidad and Tobago since 1956, there has never been an election and there not being a PNM candidate so that the electorate can cast a vote for that PNM. We will wait for the results on the night of August 10th, but we are already proud that as we put 41 quality candidates in every nook and cranny of this nation, on August 10th, come rain, come shine, you come out to vote wherever you are, because that franchise is important, that vote is important, and you cast that vote for the People's National Movement candidate. And wherever you are, victory is yours, because the PNM will be the government of Trinidad and Tobago again, and your vote would have signaled that you want to be on the side of the policies of the People's National Movement, not on the side of any particular candidate. You want to be on the side of the team, the PNM, that will form the government of Trinidad and Tobago. So if you vote in Toco, you vote in Chaguanas, you vote in Sejas, you vote in Charlottesville, you vote in Carenage, you vote in St. James, once you vote for the Balize, you're taking a stand for Trinidad and Tobago. You are PNM. I want to tell the people of Trinidad and Tobago tonight, in the presence of my candidates, that there's nobody who served in the government in the last 5 years who could tell you that they make a deal with the Prime Minister to get something from any contractor. I want to tell you this evening, there's no contractor in this country who could say they came to the home of the Prime Minister to discuss any contract. And I want to tell you too, that there's nobody in the government of the last 5 years who the Prime Minister could not remove or say no to out of fear that they go talk. The only thing they have to talk about is me keeping them up at night and waking them up at odd hours, because when I send out a WhatsApp at 2 o'clock in the morning, I expect a response before daybreak. This political leader, this Prime Minister, is beholden to no one but the people of Trinidad and Tobago. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that is what we ask the people of Trinidad and Tobago to continue to support. Our foundation is strong as our roots are deep. Some of you are returning to the battlefield. Some of you have just entered the vineyard because our team is made up of experience. Experience is important. Not that you know everything having walked the walk, but it tempers your exuberance and it causes you to be careful, because mistakes can be made even in heaven. Had it not been so, Satan would not have been where he is today. Mistakes can be made. Those of you who are entering for the first time, enter it with the confidence that there are mentors in the government, in the cabinet, who will guide you to the right place to ensure that you follow the right path, because many young people have entered public life, and because of the bad examples set by their leaders, they end up in serious trouble. So today, a significant portion of police work in Trinidad and Tobago today is examining the misconduct of persons who served in the cabinet of Trinidad and Tobago. I can tell you today, without fear of contradiction, I have had no bagman and no baguban. I can tell you there's nobody who collected any money from me from any contractor and today talking to the police. I can tell you that there was nobody in the Prime Minister's office receiving cash or otherwise, because if that was the case, I would have known. And if I had known that, you would have known, because you'd have seen them skating on the backside out of where they come from. That is not encouraged by me. And that is why today, as you join this team and your objective is to serve your constituency, to serve the people in your community, to serve the people on your street, some of whom rely on you and you alone to speak for them and to stand up for their rights and to stand up to ensure that whatever is allocated in this country, you stand up so that they get it, because there are those with millions and billions who will take even that too. There are others in this fight, in this battle, whose singular interest is to get into the corridors of power to prevent the criminal investigations from being concluded. I don't make this up. I ask you all, cast your mind back to the situation at Piarco Airport. One minister who was in that Piarco Airport scandal is today up there in La Capital, Talparo. There was a commission of inquiry into the Piarco Airport scandal. That minister under that government went before the commission of inquiry and was forced to admit that the Piarco Airport was a feeding trough, a feeding frenzy was taking place there. I want to ask you, if you could oversee a feeding frenzy of taxpayers' money, what are taxpayers doing electing you to parliament? And of course, it was done with international help, because we had American participants in that airport. Those in America have long since made their jail. Some of them have turned state witness to give testimony against citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. But the one thing that has not happened is that the Trinidad and Tobago citizens have never come before the court to answer the charges as laid. When The matter was concluded at the Privy Council, and we expected the matter to proceed in the extradition. The Attorney General of Trinidad and Tobago told this country, as he told the court, let us try it here. This is the place to try it. Don't extradite them because the matter is to be concluded here imminently. And of course, the judge listened to that. And I made a comment about that because they didn't find favor with me and the rest of the country. I was sued by the Attorney General for that comment. But up to this day, with the assistance of the Kamla Prasad Bisesa government, those people out of the Piarco Airport frenzy have never had to answer for the multi-million-dollar corruption in Piarco Airport. You don't need flambeau or bullify, as we say in Tobago, to come and look for that, to see is the same thing they want to come and do again. Same thing, because there are many of them who have serious criminal questions to answer. And the only interest they have in all of this election is that they need to win the election to retain their perceived innocence and maybe their freedom. Ladies and gentlemen, this election is a serious election. You young people who have joined us today for the first time, you are joining a team in government who allowed us to continue to get the benefits of what the country had to offer. Without the PNM in office, today we could not point to the National Investment Fund, called the NIF. $8 billion of assets we had to fight to get back from people who had no intention of honoring their responsibility to the taxpayer. We had to fight to get that. And what did we do with it? We created a National Investment Fund. For that alone, we had the right choice to continue. For that alone, because we allowed a wide cross-section of the national community to have ownership of what was on its way out. When you join us today and put your name on the list for August 10th, and you join us after August 10th, you join a group who fought to bring back to this country $921 million that was given away by the stroke of a pen. And on that basis, the people of La Brea and the people of Point Fortin, you see your highway being constructed to be completed in 2021. It was because this team, this right choice, this only choice, fought for you and made you have that facility. Politics is about interests. Good governance is about representation and empathy. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to tell you because I know you are smart. What would have been Trinidad and Tobago's position if this COVID had come and meet that government that we threw out of office in office? Suppose the UNC was in office when the COVID came. The first thing they offered was a state of emergency, as they offered it to fight crime, when crime was in their period. But if you listen to them talk, criminal conduct only started in this country on September 9, 2015. But when they went for state of emergency to fight crime, it was the same thing. They want to be involved, fight to state of emergency. But at the same time, they're fighting police abuse, encouraging people to hate the police. What more can you do to give police power than to remove the protection of the citizens under the Constitution? So in one breath, you want to curb police excesses in handling citizens, but in the same breath, you want a state of emergency in a situation where the main thing that you have to do is what you're doing here now. Physical distancing, wash your hands, don't touch your face, wear a mask. You did not need a state of emergency for that. What you needed was a government that understood that the people of Trinidad and Tobago would follow if they're properly led. And of course, they had doctors. We had no medical doctors in the parliament, but they had. And their offering was, we have a cure. Treat them with hydroxychloroquine. Drink bleach. inject them with bleach. That was the idea. And of course, I could tell you, so early did we close our borders to keep the virus from rushing into us that it did not find favor with some of our friends abroad. But we had to say to them, much as we love you as friends, but our first responsibility is to protect the people of Trinidad and Tobago. So we said if you had been to China less than 14 days, which we were told was the incubation period of the virus, where the symptoms would show, sorry, you cannot enter Trinidad and Tobago. Within a matter of a week, the European Union did the same thing. And later on, every country had closed its borders in the world because the virus is a dangerous thing. Today, we have been successful. Apparently by accident. Apparently by accident. They wouldn't even give credit to the health system and the health team that served us so well. How many times did they sue Dr. Parasram? How many times did his name appear on court documents, accusing them of hiding information? People get in the hospital and they're hiding it, and there's 10,000 people who have COVID and they're hiding it, and they've gone to court. They love the courthouse because they believe in the courthouse where lies prevail. They would go there, imagine the doctors are here trying to save us. They are the ones who know about the virus. They are the ones who know about pathology. They are the ones who know about virology. But politicians taking them to court to ask the court to make decisions. Thank God we have preserved under this PNM and the rest of the country's history. We have an independent judiciary and they tell them where to get off. So ladies and gentlemen, there are big decisions to be made. The past is important. If I stay here tonight to tell you about the PNM's glorious past in our 64-year history, into our 65th year, it will take me all night. There isn't a family in this country whose condition has not been improved by the coming of Eric Williams' PNM in 1956. In my own case, I always say I represent it. Because in my own family, I was the first person in a large family ever to have gone to high school. And my sister came after me. The two of us are the only ones who have gone to high school. My brothers were brighter than we were. But they did not reach their full potential because the PNM came too late for them. When we talk about greater and unit trust in this country, as everything we try to do, there's objection. If I ask you tonight, you name one thing that Trinidad and Tobago is supposed to be doing or is doing that the UNC is supporting and saying, yes, the opposition supports it. Name one, just name one. Every God in heaven thing that we try to do in this country, they oppose it for opposing sake. And where they could obstruct, they obstruct it. And where they could undermine, they undermine it. Whether it is our foreign policy, our attempt to collect our taxes, our dealing with Venezuelan migrants, our fighting of criminals, everything including playing a cricket match. You know, hate consumes you. Hate destroys you. They left the Brian Lara Stadium down there for 5 years to grow moss. And they teeth out everything that wasn't nailed down and wasn't concrete. We came into office 5 years later and we finished the Brian Lara Stadium. Today, this country has 2 international standard cricket grounds. The night when we went to open the Brian Lara Stadium, they came out in their yellow jerseys like a piece of moldy cheese and blocked the highway. Thousands of persons couldn't get to the venue because the opposition blocked the highway and said we shouldn't have spent money on the stadium. Today, as a result of having those 2 stadiums, Queen's Park Oval and the Brian Lara Stadium, when we are approached by the CPL to stage in Trinidad the entire tournament from beginning to end, from August to September, we had the wherewithal to say yes, because our venues are available and our country is healthy, one of the few countries in the world that could stage an international cricket match today. And rather than feel proud about your country, feel proud that we are in this position and be a part of it, that is something to condemn and to criticize. I tell you, they don't mean well for this country. It's all about themselves. But let's forget them and talk about our future. Because this pandemic eventually is going to recede one way or the other. Either there's going to be a vaccine sometime in the not too distant future if there's a successful vaccine, and then the world becomes vaccinated, and the virus will then stop. Or it will rage through countries as it is doing now around the world, and eventually it will stabilize itself in populations at great expense to human life. But it's not going to be with us forever. But our country will be here forever. And there'll be a requirement for the PNM, because if the PNM wasn't here, you'd have had to invent it. And that is why, even as we were dealing with the imminent threat and building our defense against the virus, we knew that the real fallout of this experience that we are having now, which the world has not had for 100 years, that the day will come when we have to account for what we do going forward. We've had a Minister of Finance who was right up front to the rest of the cabinet, right up front to the country, and saying this will cost money. Cost us some serious money. Money we did not have or do not have. Money we've had to borrow. But what we've done with the money that we borrowed is to make sure it got to the people, and it make sure we kept the economy alive, and we are ticking over. And at the appropriate time, we'll move from walking to running, and from running to winning the race of our future. We went into our intellectual barrel and brought out about 24 people from all walks of life in different endeavors and brought them together in a national group of national effort. Some people were surprised that as Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, PNM Prime Minister, that I would have approached Winston Buchanan, a former Minister of Finance in another government. I would have approached Vasant Bharat. And I also approached Botiwari. But Bo was trying to survive. Patrick Manning has a story he used to tell that, you know, you're not going to survive on the white line. You're not going to survive on the fence. Because when the war is declared, the first man to get a lash is the man on the fence. Bo, poor boy. Bo gone. So he gave up the opportunity to serve, and he didn't survive. But I must say, he might get another opportunity sometime. But the bottom line is this. We have put our most experienced brains in the various subsectors to pull together with the government so that we draft a national roadmap, 2021 going forward, what we do in 2020, what direction we should take, what is available to us. And I'll tell you something. The last time we had a meeting, it was last week, Monday, I think, one of the things that that committee set out to do is to establish for Trinidad and Tobago exactly the amount of revenues available to Trinidad and Tobago. And having established that, we will then determine what is the best way to spend that revenue. We cannot continue to borrow to survive at the levels that we have done for the last 4 or 5 months. That was an emergency for that period. It cannot be a sustainable arrangement to do that. What we have to do now is to be careful that every dollar that comes into the Treasury goes out for the correct purpose. You require a government that will make decisions not only for the government's survival or for the government's impulse, but how does this affect those people for whom their only opportunity to move from where they are to where they want to get is a government intervention. We are committed to education for our children. We are committed to quality health care for everybody. We are committed to having proper trade arrangements. We are committed to having infrastructure in the country to ensure proper standard of living. And we said that we will take infrastructure to people who do not now have it. So we are improving the road to Toko. We are improving the road to Point 14 and Cedros. And we say that when we go to the hospital, we must meet there. Much of what you can meet anywhere else in the world. But we also say that we must be a responsible people. Governance is not always popular and easy, but that is what will take us from where we are to where we want to go. So tonight, I am particularly proud of all of you 40 people who have agreed to be PNM standard bearers. You join a long and large legacy in this party of Eric Williams, in this party of Errol Mahabia, in this party of A.N.R. Robinson, in this party of Basil Pitt, in this party of Muriel Donovan McDavidson, in this party of Ken Valley and Patrick Manning. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for offering yourself to be the sacrificial lamb, because it will not be easy. But the same person who speaks to you harshly today, when success comes from your effort, they will not begrudge you. I thank you, because that's how it goes. Sometimes you have to lead from in front, and sometimes you have to lead as they take you on. The people of Trinidad and Tobago have been very fortunate, and I in particular, I have been very fortunate to be alive in the time of the PNM. And I, on behalf of my children and grandchildren, commit to you, as you have committed to your communities, to ensure that we give this country the future that they deserve. Somebody sacrificed for you. Now you are going to sacrifice for somebody's children. That is what it's all about. They were surprised that I invited Winston Dukaran and Basan Barat to be a part of the team. Why? We've said our door is wide open. This PNM door is wide open, and all we ask of you is to be a citizen of Trinidad and Tobago and commit to follow the principles of the PNM. If you're on a criminal charge, don't come into the PNM and think you could be a candidate. You will not even face the screening committee. We have principles in this party. Once, wherever you have traveled, and you want to walk through the PNM door, you will be welcome in this, what we call the PNM family, once you subscribe to accepting the principles that every creed and race find an equal place, that our fundamental documents, as we wrote them, Dr. Williams wrote them, as Patrick Manning wrote them, as I wrote, we said what we believe in. And that's why tonight, in our 41, we have with us the extempo king. If I call him now and say, sing a tune of victory, sing a tune of victory, we have them. What more can you want? Tonight we welcome among us a man who was a member of the cabinet of a previous government, a man who we lock horns in my arrow, not once, not twice, but repeatedly, and those horns today are aimed at others. Bringing home the constituency of Maruga Tableland into the fold of the PNM. But that is not new to us. In this administration, we have many persons in positions of authority appointed by this government whose pathway in politics was not the PNM, because we don't believe that the whole country is only about the PNM. It's all about the people of Trinidad and Tobago and a willingness to serve and a willingness to be a citizen of distinction. That's what it's all about, to be a citizen of which we all can be proud. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I want to congratulate all my colleagues. I want to congratulate the organizers of this campaign. It's a different campaign. We are inventing this campaign and practicing. It's the first time we've had a candidate launch, and it wasn't done out into the open with thousands of people up and down waving their balises, but that is the one thing we cannot do in a pandemic. So we come to meet you, and you will go to meet the polling station on August 10. Because on the night of August 10, when you would have looked at your country the days before, when you would have experienced the weeks and months before, we have every confidence that the right-thinking citizens of Trinidad and Tobago would say, this is not a time to gamble. This is not a time to practice. This is not a time to search in case you might find. This is a time to know what you're looking for. And when you know what you're looking for, there's the People's National Movement, the right choice. Talk to yourself about the options you have, because governance is always about options. What options should the country take? What options should the country have taken? What do you see for yourself in the future? As we go forward, as we move to making this a state that uses technology to the ultimate, that allows our young people to develop to the fullest of their skills. 1 year from today, you will not recognize the administrative processes in Trinidad and Tobago as we change the public service and the private sector, taking us forward under the leadership that is committed to a Trinidad and Tobago that has boundless faith in its destiny. Thank you for serving. Thank you for coming forward. Thank you for organizing this campaign, this successful campaign. We are only waiting for the results now after you voted, because elections are won on election day. Make no mistake about it. Our opponents have their supporters, and they are coming out to vote on election day. Rain or shine, they're coming out to vote. They have their supporters. You, if you believe that the PNM is the right choice, then you come out and vote. That's the only way that you can support the right choice. Only voting will say that I have supported the right choice. And on election day, when you have done that, on that night of August 10th, you will join us in the PNM, join the rest of Trinidad and Tobago, join the Caribbean who is looking at us, and we will say together in one voice, one country, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, great is the PNM, and we as a people shall prevail.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is the incoming Prime Minister of the Republic of Trinidad and Tobago. When you resoundingly cast your vote for all 41 candidates of the People's National Movement on August the 10th, would you please welcome the PNM's slate of 41 candidates? Let's welcome Aruka Maloney, Camille Robinson Regis, Shabana East, Clarence Ramaran, Filipino Cornell West, Mr. Marvin Gonzalez, Cuba North, Mr. Shada Shatram, Cuba South, Rajendra Rampasad, Caroni Central, Rayad Ali, Shabana West, Raquel Bisoon.
That is leadership. Trinidad and Tobago, that is leadership.
That is leader.
Right leader, right time, right choice.
Right choice. And we are hearing it. And if you are undecided now, you have heard the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago speak to us in a way that we can all understand.
Correct.
This is a government that has led us through a pandemic with success recognized the world over. There is no other choice. This is the right choice, the PNM government.
PNM all the way. I mean, I really was moved by Dr. Rowley's speech this evening. I mean, when he started to go into how passionate and how serious the government took the country's business, I was really moved, really and truly moved. So here in true PNM style, the PNM family is here. We just had a fantastic lunch.
Wonderful, wonderful lunch. Like no other.
Like no other. And we did it safe.
Yep.
And within all the specifications from the Ministry of Health. So we are very proud because it's a new thing, a new normal.
Creating history. We have created history here today.
So while a limited amount of us may be at the venue, we encourage all the constituencies to have their watch parties, to follow the campaign as we go along. And we're about to close, so...
And let me take my place on the stage because I'm a candidate, so I'll be hitting the stage now.
Okay, Trinidad and Tobago.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, I introduce to you the PNM sound. Let's welcome Mr. Peter C. Lewis.
Greetings, PNM people. How you feeling? Is everybody feeling okay? Wait, my 41 candidates. 41 candidates, make some noise. Say yeah. Say great is the PNM. Now let me teach all of this song, right? Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Listen. All will be fine. Look, we made the right choice every time. Still a job to be done and a race to be won. And we know we will win every time. Just keep the faith, heads up high. We're together in this, you and I. Yes, the job will be done and the race will be won. And we know we will win every time. And we go vote to protect the country. We go vote to protect the treasury. We go vote. It's only Dr. Rowley, the right choice for TNT. PNM. PNM is the choice, PNM is the voice, PNM all the way on election day is the right choice at the right time. Hands in the air for the Balizé. Put your bodies in the air. Everybody start to jump with me. Say, hey, 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 hey. PNM, we have an election to win. Say great is the PNM. Say great is the PNM. One time, let's go. Say all will be fine. Look, we made the right choice every time. Still a job to be done and a race to be won. And we know we will win every time. Just keep the faith, heads up high. We're together in this, you and I. Yes, the job will be done and the race will be won. And we know we will win every time. Come on. So we go vote for the love of we country. We go vote to protect the treasury. We go vote. It's only Dr. Rowley, the right choice for TNT. PNM is the choice. PNM is the voice. PNM all the way on election day is the right choice at the right time. Hands in the air for the Bali's. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, introducing my friend, the General. Sasha, be voting PNM. Anyway, right choice, proud leader. The battle for one nation, your life matter, yeah. We leadership, yo, we promise you forever, yo. For PNM and everything will be much better, yeah. Strength and honor in 5 years of government. Never again will we allow mismanagement. PNM is here to say their love is permanent. Loyal to the flag and never bow to establishment. Who them try to trick and sell out? But them can't buy my vote in a bow. They better move when Red Army are run out. For deceitful people will get burn out. Yeah, me know. Dr. Rowley, a leader phenomenal. The UNC full of pirates and criminal. Send for the dog. The theater, political, 32 bomb. And it's not just political structure. Send for the doctor again. Sign my name with a golden pen. Sign my name, sign my name. A golden pen. I want you sign my name with a golden pen. We voting PNM. I want you sign my name with a PNM pen. A PNM pen. A PNM. I want you sign my name with a PNM pen. We voting PNM. Everybody say PNM is a PNM power. A positive healing power. PNM moving forward together. Introducing Rishi, my brother.
All I need is one family. All I need is one family. Working together to build this country. When the world was quaking, everyone agreed. When the world was quaking, we happy it was he. And that is why we voted for Dr. Rowley.
C'est super, super, c'est super, super, super. Red, red, spring for the other. Red, hey, this is from the higher. Red, hey, sweet, yeah. Red, sprinkle everywhere. Red, where your body say hey. Red, where your body say hey. Your guys say where you ride, 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 where you ride. Sprinkle all over. Sprinkle, 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 sprinkle. Hey, hey. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. Great is the PNM. And we will always prevail.
The preceding program was a paid political broadcast.